Alright, hell yeah. So in my last video, I was telling my brother that, 1 degree of Earth is 60 miles. And how you can actually do that in your head quite easily. He didn't think it was, anywhere close to 60 miles. He thought it was a very larger number. And so I said there was 24,000 miles for the circumference, and we're going to divide that by 360 degrees. Okay, so hell yeah. And I didn't have pen or paper or calculator, so I said we could do this. I'm going to do this in my head just by showing that 24 and 36 are about the same number. And so if they're the same number, they're going to cancel out to 1. I'm not going to do that in my head, but then I can just this is what I did in my head, 10,000 divided by 100. And then it was just easy to take off 2 zeros off 10,000, and I'm left with 100. So we're going to use this video to do some of these techniques where, and we're also going to use like scientific notation, because if you change these numbers into scientific notation, you would get 2.4 times 10, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, so you got 4 there, and then this would be 3.6 times 1, 2, times 10 to the 2. And then if we're going to divide these, hell yeah. The cool thing about scientific notation, and sometimes I do this, is like get rid of the x, so, and then just do parentheses. So we got 2.4, and then we have 10 to the 4. And for whatever reason, I just think mentally, it makes it easier to be like, oh yeah, I can just divide anything. So let's divide these two things first, and we got 10 to the 2, and then we're going to divide these. And again, these are going to be about the same, you know what I mean? And so we're just basically going to get 1 there. So we got 1 times 10 to the 2, and that's going to be 100. Alright, hell yeah. Now, why I have the first 1,000 decimals of pi, because I just wanted like random numbers, and this is fairly random. So we're just going to throw, we're just going to throw this out here. So we got 314. How about 31415, and then we're going to divide it by, so we got all the way to there, and then 926. Okay, so hell yeah. So that's kind of just what this video is about, is like, can you do these in your head? I don't know if you can, but I do know when dividing, and that's kind of what this video is going to be, is if you, there's a few tricks. Like one, like, okay, I can't do the 3 and 9. 3 isn't the same as 9. But hey, the first thing that I can do is like, well, I can use the idea of scientific notation, and instead of this being 31,000, just change it to 90,000. And, just make them, like, just pretend that 3 divided by 9 is 1. And we're going to see that in a second. Because whatever answer we get, we're just going to divide, make sure we take a third of it. 3 divided by 9 isn't 1. 3 divided by 9 is a third. But if I'm trying to do this just without pen and paper in my head, might as well drop the pen. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to say this is 90,000. This is 900. Cool. When I divide those, I'm just going to get 1. So basically this is 10,000, and this is 100. You know what I mean? And so I have 10,000 divided by 100. And so minus 2 zeros off 10,000, I'm going to get 1,000. I'm going to get 100 again. Sweet. So right here I'm going to get 100, but now I just have to make sure I'm taking a third of that. So I think this answer is going to be 33. Cool. And let's just break out the calculator real fast just to make sure. Well, no, let's do scientific notation now. So because scientific notation says this is going to be 3. Let's just do 3.1. times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4. And the more you do this, the more you can be like, well, no duh, like a number of 10,000. 10,000 is going to be 10 to the 4. You can just pick up on that real fast. Like this is going to be 9.2 times 10 to the 2. Because 100 is 10 to the 2. It doesn't matter if it's 9 or 800 or 600. It's 6 times 10 to the 2. You know what I mean? So you can get faster at that with scientific notation, but 9.2 times 10 to the 2. And same thing, we're going to divide these. So we're going to have 10 to the 2, and then we're going to have basically 1/3 times 10 to the 2. So that's going to be 0.3. This is just going to be like 0.33 times 10 to the 2. Typically we don't do scientific notation like this, so move this over. We're going to have 3.3 times 10 to the 1. They're the same number, it's just really easy to see this is going to be 33. It's kind of harder to see, you know, we got to bring that over twice. But scientific notation, I think you can, you know, like 1 times 10 to the 10. I mean, 1 times 10 to the 1 is 10. And so we can see that this is 33. Just getting used to scientific notation. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with this video. Let's do some more. So we got up to 296. And so we're going to do 5, 3, 5, 8, 9, 7. And we're going to divide it by, let's see. Yeah, let's just do, let's do 93. There you go. Divided by 93. All right, and now we're going to see like what. So right off the bat, man, it seems like I want to do 5 divided by 9 is pretty close to a half. You know what I mean? So there you go. And then I'm just going to say they're the same. So this is going to be, in my head, it's going to be 10,000 divided by 10. Even though that's kind of bizarre, that's the only thing that even on this one, I was just like, man, this is so close to 1,000. Why don't we do that? You know what I mean? And we could. That's probably the simpler. That's why I'm kind of just brainstorming on this video. Is just like, well, just using one guessing technique and see if it applies in a lot of scenarios, because 5, 9 is going to be a half. I think we can do that. So let's do it in our head. I'm going to have 10,000. This is 10 with 5 zeros, and this is 10. So I'm going to have like I'm sorry. This is going to go to 100,000. That's 10 to the 5. 100,000 divided by 10 is going to be 10,000. But it's not 10,000, it's half of 10,000. That's the only bizarre thing. You have to do this kind of thing. You have to, you know, it's not 10,000, it's actually 5,000. So sweet. So this is going to be pretty close to 5,000. And, all right, booyah. But again, you know, on both of these, I'm glad we can probably end this. I got to go to sleep, but anyway. This is closer to 100, so just take off two digits, you know what I mean? And this is going to be 5,358. It's probably a better guess right there. This is 1,000, you're just going to take off two zeros. So this is, whoa. No, this rounds to 1,000, you're going to take off 3 zeros, and that's going to be 31. All right, booyah. Yeah, so both those guessing techniques might have their flaws. But let's actually look at what this is. 31415 divided by 926. Okay, so it's 33.9. So we're really close on that. 535 897 divided by 93. So these are just kind of guessing techniques. This one was kind of off, for sure. You know what I mean? And would that make sense? If we're dividing by a smaller number, hell yeah, our number gets bigger. And this number was bigger than 50,000. You know, substantially. Okay, hell yeah. So let's do maybe one more. Let's do a few more. I think this is kind of the interesting thing. I think you get it now, because now we're going to do 2 divided by 3. You know, could you say these are the same? Well, sure. I mean, I guess you could say they're the same. But you're still gonna have you know, a fraction of 2/3, so it's gonna be 0.6. No, this will be good. So we did that. Now we're gonna have 8/4. Hell yeah, this is gonna be 8 divided by 4. Well, sure, it's gonna be a multiple of 2. So let's do this one. So we're gonna go. This one's gonna be 8, 6, 2, 6, and this one's going to be divided by 443. So when we do this one, hell yeah, kind of the same technique. You know it's going to be a double, but let's make them the same number. So in my head, this is going to be 1,000. So this is kind of interesting. So no matter what number you have, you never round up. You always say, hey, I have 4 digits, so this is going to be 1,000. I have 3 digits, it's going to be 100. So this is going to be 1,000 minus 100. Looks like it's going to be 10, but we're going to double, it's going to be 20. You know what I mean? So it's kind of an interesting technique. I don't know if I'm actually going to stumble on other techniques in this video, but hell yeah, the answer is 19.4. Okay, so let's continue on. 4 divided by 3, that's a tricky one. I would just say, hey, that's close enough. You know what I mean? That is just going to be a multiple of 1. 3 divided by 8. Again, this is kind of a multiple of a half. You know what I mean? If you're just using straight guessing. 3 divided by 2. This is the only kind of tricky one. You know, it's 0.66. You know what I mean? I would more think like 66%. Whatever answer you're going to get, you're going to reduce it. And sometimes it's just like, this is my guessing technique, so let's do one. I would reduce it by half and then increase it by 25%. I don't know. You know what I mean? I think, and then just kind of, let's try one. And so we're going to do 37950, and then we're going to go divided by, can we make this lower number bigger? Sure, let's try it. 228 419. Okay, hell yeah. Alright, so we're going to divide these. 3 divided by... Oh, wait, 3 divided by 2 isn't 66%. So let's switch these, since that's kind of what the thought was in my head. So we're going to call them even. This is going to be 10,000 divided by 100,000. Now, this is going to be kind of tricky, but this is 10 to the 4 divided by 10 to the 5. You know what I mean? Because if you can do that in your head, hell yeah, then you can see that it's 4 minus 5. It's going to be 10 to the negative 1, which is, you know, basically 0.1. But now we're going to take less of it. You know what I mean? So I guess that does get a little bit tricky when it's not not too tricky. But again, let's do half of this. So that's going to be 0.05. And then what's 75%? Let's go the other way. So we got 0.075. And then hell yeah, so 0.066. I don't know if that's a good technique. And did that even work? You know what I mean? Because this would be 6.6 times 10 to the negative 2. And then let's see what we have here. 27950 divided by 328,419. Yeah, we have 8.5. So we're gonna divide this by 10 to the 2. And hell yeah, it's 8.5. Oh, whoops. No, we're gonna multiply that by 10 to the 4. Okay, so this is going to be 8.5 times 10 to the negative 2. Alright, booyah. And, you know, our guessing wasn't very good on that one. Alright, hell yeah. Let's move on. So we have 2 divided by 8. Hell yeah, that's going to be times 0.25. You know, it's going to be a quarter. So it's either a quarter or times 0.25. So let's do this one. So we're going to have 288... 4 divided by 19. Sweet. Or no, what are we doing? No, 89. There you go. There you go. So, alright, so this is going to be 1,000 divided by 10. So 1,000 loses 1 0. It's going to be 100. But then we're actually just going to take a quarter of that. So this is going to be close to 25. So 2884 divided by 89. Yeah, it's close enough, 25. Now, these are just guessing skills. Like, these numbers could be up to, you know, 50% off. You know what I mean? And either, you know, plus or minus 50%. difference. So that would be 20. Let's do that. 25 plus or minus 25 times 0.5. You know what I mean? That's 50%. And so, hell yeah, that's going to be 12.5. You know what I mean? So we're either going to do 37.5 or reduce it. So it's going to be 12.5 to 37.5. And hell yeah, it fit right in there. 32.4 was our actual answer. But yeah, this is where this comes from. Kind of these guessing skills is like you're trying to get the number within a factor of 10. And using scientific notation, you can do one better. You know, because sometimes, like, this happens. So, let's say you have, like, 7, 1, 6, 9, and then we're going to multiply it by 399. Okay, maybe this is a bad one to do, but, so right here, you could, no, let's make one up. So, we're gonna do 6, 5, 4, 1 multiplied by, what should we do? How about 5, 1, 4? Okay, hell yeah. So, like, how are you going to round this? You know what I mean? Like, this one, and we shouldn't just switch it to multiplication, but it's the same thing, is, you can say that 6 times 5 is 30. You know what I mean? So there is your multiplication factor. I should make a totally separate video, but it's just kind of fascinating. And now you can turn this into 1,000 times 100. That's going to be 10 to the 3 times 10 to the 2. That's going to be 10 to the 5. So we have 10 to the 5. We have another 10 value. So we're going to have 10 to the 6. We're going to have 3 times 10 to the 6. This is going to be 3 million. So hell yeah. And let's double check that. 6541 times 514. All right, booyah. Yeah, we got 3,300,000 you know, we got 3 million. So, but if you rounded this, if you rounded this up, you would have 10,000, and then if you rounded this up, you would have 1,000, and then you would get 10 million. You know what I mean? You would have 7 zeros. And so that would be, you know, you'd be farther off doing it that way. You know, so there's a lot of problems where you're just like, man, it makes no sense to round this up to 1,000. You know, it doesn't make any sense to round this up to 10,000. And some problems, you know, maybe division's worse, where you're going to round one up, and then you're going to round the other one down. And then, yeah, so let's do that. So we're going to do 6541 divided by 321. Okay, hell yeah. So if you rounded this one up, you would go to 10,000. And then if you rounded this one down, you would divide by 100. So hell yeah, we're just going to get rid of 2 zeros, and we're going to get an answer of 100. But now let's do it our way. 6 divided by, you know, you could say these are equal, but we're going to have a multiplication factor of 2. So we're going to say 1,000 minus 100. That's going to give me 10 times 2. This is going to be 20. So isn't 20 way better of an answer than 100? You know, because we increase this, and when you divide, that's going to give us a bigger number. But then we decrease this. That's also going to give you a bigger number. So hell yeah. So this is a good place to end. 6541 divided by 321. Hell yeah. It's right on 20. It's nowhere close to 100. So just from our rounding skills, you know, we thought this was close to 100, and it wasn't. It's closer to 10 than it was 100. So that's the only tricky thing about estimating when using factors of 10. When your goal is to get the number within a factor of 10, whether it's 10, 100, or 1, you're just trying to shoot for one of these boxes, and hopefully it's closer to this box than that box. If it's closer to that box, you kind of failed in your guessing skills. And and then this video just shows that, hey, you at least have to take into consideration this first digit, but not too much. If it's 2 divided by 3, if it's 202 divided by... Alright, hell yeah. Sorry about that, camera cut out. But if we have 202 divided by like 341, you know what I mean? So let's do this technique of just saying that they're equivalent. We are going to use a factor of, you know, we were saying 2/3. Like, hey, isn't that just 1? You know what I mean? So if we do that, we're pretty close to 1. And we're closer to 1 than we would be 0.1, and we're closer to 1 than we would be 10. You know, isn't that right? So 202 divided by 341, yeah, we're 0.59. You know what I mean? So could this get out of hand? 202 divided by 399. You know what I mean? Hey, we you know, so you can't mess up this, but it's probably better, you know. 2/3 is closer to 0.5 than it is to like 1. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of interesting, because if we go 0.66 minus 0.5, that's just a difference of 0.16. But 1 minus 0.6, you know, that's a difference of 0.33. So yeah, that's kind of the, wow, I didn't notice that at all. So that's kind of cool. I think 1/3 is pretty easy to divide by 1/3, but I think it is trickier to divide by you know, 2/3. And so yeah, just calling this a half. So let's do that, and then we're gonna be right on. So like, well, let's try it out. So we have 100 minus 100. That's gonna be 1. But now we're gonna divide by half. So this is gonna be 0.5. And obviously the answer was 0.59. We changed this to 202 to 399, and that really helps our value out. If it was 2 divided by 3 or 200 divided by 300, well, you would just have 0.66, and so 0.5. Hey, that's close enough. So if we actually say 0.01, you know what I mean? 0.1, 1, and 10, and we're guessing, you know, 0.5, and the actual answer is 0.6. Hey, we're pretty close, and this still rounds, you know, rounds up. But yes, it's interesting how some of these, you know, you're trying to get within a factor of 10. But there are some that kind of fall right in between, so I'm glad we ended on that one. Alright, hell yeah. So it's just some guessing skills, and that's all this video was. It's just kind of a, you know, kind of a brainstorm session. But thanks for joining me, and guess what? That's a video.